Thanks for being with us at Tissue World here in Milan. This is Tissue World TV, and this is where you get to meet via YouTube all the essence and the people that were behind this conference here in Milan, as well as our expo as well. Our next guest is a corporate scientist who's traveled across from Chicago in the USA from Nalco Water. His name is Gary Furman, and he's an expert in Yankee coating development, predominantly for structured sheets.
Well, I would say for all types of sheets, but
for all types of sheets.
We've focused on structured sheets in the last few years because they're becoming such a large part of the amount of tissue that we see out there, especially in the US, but now also in Europe with the advent of what we call hybrid machines.
Yes. So the essence of your paper that you presented during our technical conference on day 2 here in Milan, what were you mainly telling the audience, sir?
So I was going through our development process. So I took them through both a series of lab work where we looked at film properties like adhesion, softness, durability of the coating, as well as then through actual pilot machine studies at fast speeds, up to 1,000 meters per minute. And again, looking at things like blade wear rates, adhesion as we measure by a confocal laser scanning microscopy technique, and also the power that it takes to turn the Yankee with that coating being sprayed on the Yankee. So that gives us some indication of the softness of the coating and how stable it is, whether it's building to a thicker layer or not.
I was listening to you in your presentation. You were talking about some of the difficulties involved in coating at the moment, and excess moisture contents and...
Yeah, so what we observe is that in these structured sheet processes, you have a much wider range of moisture that the sheet is carrying to the Yankee and to the coating. So that impacts all the film properties of the coating on the Yankee. You would develop a very different Yankee coating for sheet moistures that are 10% versus sheet moistures that are 60%. The other factor we run into is the content of PVOH in the coating. So in these structured sheets, you have a 2-part adhesive. You have PVOH, and then you have, let's say, a PAE adhesive.
Yes.
The PVOH changes the coating properties quite a bit.
So what would you say the biggest walkaway was that you expected the audience to grasp from your presentation, sir?
Yeah, I would say, for the structured sheet processes, it's a much more difficult coating to, you have much more difficulty in developing and working with that coating. It's much more demands on that coating versus a conventional wet press machine. So that not only this moisture content that we talked about, but also the use of blended co-adhesives like PVOH and PAE. So I want people to recognize that.
Fantastic. And obviously you're no stranger to Tissue World. I've been asking most of our guests on this channel what Tissue World means to them. So on behalf of yourself and Nalco Water, sir.
So I've had the opportunity to be at a number of Tissue Worlds. I think it's the networking opportunities. So it's good to see old colleagues and discuss various topics, and then just to see all the new developments on the show floor here.
And you've enjoyed yourself here in Milan as well during your time here?
Very much, very much. Got downtown last night, so it's very nice.
Fantastic. Well, it's a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be with us on Tissue World TV, and wish you much success into the future.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much.